As a brain doctor, I'm begging you, never eat this vegetable again. It triggers strokes. Tone: serious, authoritative, educational, and gripping, just like a doctor addressing the public with deep concern. As a brain doctor who has spent over 2 decades studying the human brain, I've seen thousands of patients, young and old, come into my clinic terrified. They say, "Doctor, I was fine yesterday, and today, my face feels numb. My hand won't move. My speech is slurred. And every time I hear these words, I know what's coming next, another stroke case. But what if I told you that one common vegetable, something that many people eat almost every day, might quietly be increasing your risk of a brain stroke?" Today, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to save your brain and possibly your life. So listen carefully till the end, because I will reveal the one vegetable that can silently trigger brain strokes and explain what to do instead to protect your brain and your loved ones. Part 1: The Hidden Epidemic. Every 40 seconds, someone in the world suffers a stroke. Every 3 minutes, someone dies from it. Most people think stroke happens suddenly, like a lightning strike. But the truth is, it builds up silently for years. And do you know the most heartbreaking part? More than 80% of strokes are preventable. It's not just about smoking or high blood pressure. It's about the food you put on your plate every single day. I remember one of my patients, a 56-year-old man named Rajesh. He was perfectly healthy, exercised daily, never smoked, ate vegetables all the time. But one morning, while having breakfast, his right hand slipped, his cup fell, and his speech began to fade. Within hours, he was in the ICU, a massive brain stroke. When I looked into his food habits, one thing shocked me. He was eating this one particular vegetable almost every day, thinking it was healthy. Part 2: What really happens during a stroke. Before I reveal what that vegetable is, let me explain what happens inside your brain when a stroke occurs. Your brain is like a supercomputer. Controls your thoughts, your movements, your emotions, your speech, everything. And to do all this, it needs a constant supply of oxygen and blood. Now imagine that the blood vessels in your brain, those tiny highways carrying oxygen, suddenly get blocked by a clot. Within seconds, brain cells start to die. And once they die, they never come back. That's why even a few minutes of reduced blood flow can cause permanent brain damage. So, the question is, what causes these clots, these blockages? And why does this mysterious vegetable play such a big role? Part 3: The Brain's Enemy. Inflammation and blood thickening. Over the years, scientists have found that inflammation and thick blood viscosity are the 2 biggest silent killers of the brain. When inflammation goes up, your arteries become stiff. When your blood becomes thick, it clots easily. And when a clot forms in a brain artery, that's it, a stroke. Now, here's where our vegetable villain enters the picture. This vegetable, though natural, is loaded with oxalates, nitrates, or excessive sodium, depending on how it's prepared. And those compounds can actually damage your blood vessels, make your blood thicker, and increase the chances of a clot. You see, the problem isn't just what's in the food, it's what it does inside your body. Part 4: Real-life examples doctors see every day. Let me tell you another story. A 63-year-old woman named Sushma came to me after a minor stroke. She was a vegetarian, proud of her clean diet. She didn't eat junk, didn't touch fried food, and avoided sugar. But she had this habit: every night, she'd eat a bowl of salty mixed pickled vegetables before dinner. She thought it was harmless. She said, "Doctor, they're just vegetables." But what she didn't realize was that these vegetables were fermented and stored in high-salt brine, creating a sodium bomb that was slowly raising her blood pressure every night. Her brain vessels couldn't take it anymore, and they burst. So now you might be thinking, "Wait, doctor, are you saying pickled vegetables are dangerous?" Let's look at the science. Part 5: The Truth About the Vegetable. Pickled and salt-loaded foods. Yes, I'm talking about pickled vegetables, the ones loaded with salt, vinegar, and preservatives. You might call them achar, kimchi, or pickled cucumbers, but they all have one thing in common: excess sodium and nitrates. Here's the harsh truth. Just 1 tablespoon of pickles can contain over 600 to 900 milligrams of sodium. And your daily sodium limit should be no more than 1,500 milligrams if you want to protect your heart and brain. Now imagine, if you're eating pickles with lunch, dinner, and snacks, you're consuming enough sodium to stiffen your arteries and double your stroke risk. Research from the Journal of the American Heart Association found that every extra gram of sodium you eat per day increases your stroke risk by 16%. And the nitrates used in many pickled or preserved vegetables, they can damage your endothelial lining, the thin layer inside your blood vessels that keeps blood flowing smoothly. Once that lining is damaged, clots form easily, and those clots go straight to your brain. Part 6, the science behind the danger. Let's break it down simply. Salt increases blood pressure. High blood pressure is the #1 cause of strokes worldwide. Nitrates and preservatives damage blood vessels. They reduce elasticity, making arteries more prone to blockages. Fermented acids alter brain chemistry. Too much acetic acid can interfere with your body's potassium balance, essential for nerve and brain function. So yes, this harmless vegetable side dish can, over time, become your brain's worst enemy. Part 7, the doctor's warning. If you love your brain, your speech, your memories, your ability to walk and talk, please, I beg you, limit or completely avoid pickled vegetables, especially if you are over 50 years old, have high blood pressure, have diabetes, or have a family history of stroke. Your brain cannot afford the stress of constant sodium overload. I've seen patients who ignored this advice. They thought, oh, it's just a little pickle. But when they came to the hospital, half their body was paralyzed, and their speech was gone. Part 8, what you should eat instead. Now, you might be wondering, if pickled vegetables are bad, what should I eat instead? Here's what I recommend as a brain doctor. White heavy checkmark fresh, colorful vegetables, especially spinach, carrots, bell peppers, and broccoli. These are full of antioxidants that reduce inflammation. White heavy checkmark magnesium-rich foods, like bananas, almonds, and avocados, help relax blood vessels. White heavy checkmark omega-3 fats, from flax seeds, walnuts, or fish, keep your blood thin and your brain sharp. White heavy checkmark hydration, drink enough water. Dehydration thickens the blood and increases clot risk. And most importantly, control your salt intake. Stop sprinkling extra salt on your food and read labels carefully. Part 9a, Doctor's Real Talk. I'm not saying you can never touch pickles again, but you must understand, your brain health is non-negotiable. Every bite you take is either healing your brain or harming it. And as someone who has seen patients lose everything, their ability to talk, to recognize loved ones, to remember their own name, I can tell you this, no food is worth losing your mind for. Part 10 lesson. Final message. So if you've been eating pickled vegetables daily, stop today. If your parents, grandparents, or friends are doing it, warn them, because strokes don't just happen to other people. They can happen to anyone who ignores the small, silent signals. And remember, prevention is not about fear. It's about respecting your body. It's about taking care of the one brain that carries every dream, every memory, every emotion you have. So, as a brain doctor, I'm not just asking you, I'm begging you, never eat this vegetable again. Choose life, choose clarity, choose your brain. Your health is your responsibility. Your brain is your most precious gift. Protect it with every meal, every day. If you found this message valuable, share it with someone you love. You might just save their life. Hit that subscribe button and join us on a journey through the timeless wisdom of the older generation. Don't miss a single life-changing lesson.